Dos agencias de la ONU, el Fondo para la Alimentación y la Agricultura y el Fondo para la Acción en Casos de Emergencia, han lanzado un plan en el norte y centro de Haití para ayudar a las familias que sufren desplazamientos, deportaciones desde República Dominicana y también el impacto de las sequías y tormentas. La iniciativa busca que la gente pueda producir sus propios alimentos y resistir mejor ante los desastres. Casi la mitad de la población haitiana vive en crisis alimentaria o peor, según la última evaluación internacional. En muchas comunidades rurales, las familias reducen comidas o se saltan alguna para sobrevivir. Todo ello en medio de una grave crisis de seguridad con pandillas que controlan territorios. Y hace unos días tuve la oportunidad de conversar con Tom Fletcher, secretario general adjunto de Asuntos Humanitarios y coordinador de socorro de emergencia de la Oficina de Coordinación de Asuntos Humanitarios de Naciones Unidas. Fletcher visitaba recientemente Haití y desde Puerto Príncipe compartía con nosotros sus impresiones de lo que encontró y la urgencia de tomar acciones para resolver esta crítica situación que enfrenta Haití. ¿A dónde llegó? ¿Cuál es la situación que ha encontrado en materia de seguridad y humanitaria?
So I'm speaking to you from Port-au-Prince, and the situation here is desperate. As you say, terrible security conditions, enormous amounts of armed group violence, sexual violence against women and against kids. You've got 1.3 million people internally displaced. You've got famine-like conditions. And I've seen for myself, driving around heavily security-backed, how dreadful, how miserable the conditions are for people living here. I've spent a lot of time with them in the last 2 days, and they are in desperate need of support.
¿Cómo son esas condiciones de seguridad en su recorrido por Puerto Príncipe, en los lugares que ha visitado? Sabemos que hay zonas críticas allí en la capital.
So half the population is in serious need of support. They need water, they need food, they need medical support, they need protection from the armed violence, from the sexual violence that they're facing. And the challenge we have is that our appeals are less than 12% funded. These are already heavily prioritized appeals, and we're not raising anything like enough money to begin to meet the needs that we find here.
¿Quiénes son los que están ayudando? ¿Puede decirnos qué países, organizaciones están pensando en Haití todavía cuando es un país que ha estado sumido en una situación crítica desde hace muchos años?
So I've just been meeting the key donors, the Europeans, of course the Americans are still present here, the Canadians, the Swiss and others. People are trying to do what they can, and we have a big meeting coming up in New York where we'll try to rally more support. But it is a drop in the ocean because the needs are going up because of these horrific levels of violence. Ultimately, we can do our best on the humanitarian track, but we cannot meet these needs, desperate needs, without a political solution, without security for these civilians.
¿Qué nos puede decir de las condiciones en las que se encuentran las personas de estos sitios en los que usted estuvo y quién está a cargo de estos lugares?
So we try to operate anywhere in the country, and we're ready to run the security risks. You know, our people are incredibly brave, and they're motivated by that desire to reach civilians everywhere. I visited today 3 sites. A site where 5,000 people are living in terrible conditions, filthy conditions. And I fear what will happen to them when the rainy season comes, the cyclones come. I visited the last functioning hospital in Port-au-Prince, where thousands again are seeking help and where the money may run out in December. And then I visited a place of hope, a place where a local NGO is training young people who have been involved and at risk of violence or being drawn into the violence, training them to be hairdressers and manicurists and motorbike repairers, giving them hope of livelihoods and of a different future. So there is misery, but there is also hope as well. And behind it all, there is a people that is yearning for dignity and hope and oxygen to rebuild their lives.
El presidente Luis Abinader de República Dominicana, país vecino de Haití, ha hablado en múltiples foros desde hace muchos años, llamando a la comunidad internacional, exhortándola, urgiéndola a participar en resolver la situación de Haití. ¿Cuál es su mensaje para esos líderes internacionales para encontrar una solución definitiva a estas complejas crisis que está viviendo ese país?
So yeah, I recognize that this is frustrating. I recognize how difficult it is. Our people on the ground who are incredibly brave know that because they're working alongside the population here, they know how hard this challenge is and the patience and tenacity and creativity that it will take. But we have a plan, a heavily prioritized plan, almost 4 million people to save almost 4 million lives. We need the resource, the support to do that. We will do that in an effective way, in a prioritized way. We will bring together all of the UN and humanitarian family to make sure that we are as effective as we can be. But we need to be here. The international community has to be here because this situation is desperate and we cannot allow it to continue.
Tom Fletcher, thank you for your time and during your visit to Port-au-Prince. Good luck to you and your team.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.